you. Okay.
Hey Nick, how are you, Bubba?
Hey, Drew. Pretty tired actually.
I like to make Nick.
Uh,
I like to throw him off when we start recording.
yeah, you do a pretty good job of that.
He
You ever
doesn't
thought about
like
going full time?
it. We'll make a career out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I've got an energy drink here. I haven't had an energy drink in a long time, but I felt like I needed it for this podcast.
Very healthy of
It's
you.
not actually. It's gonna kind of go against what we are about to talk about, but that's cool with me. Everyone needs it every now and then, so whatever.
I mean, in terms of like what I needed, like uh this past weekend, I had a friend come to town, and um we had a blast, man. It was so much fun, and the night she got here, we basically drank a lot and hung out with everybody, and it was so much fun. It was a blast. The next day, uh, we got up around 9, got breakfast. Then we went on a hike, a 5 mile hike, and then uh, we went to a beach spot. It's like it's called Redneck Beach in Athens, Georgia. And then
Okay.
drank there, and then after that, we went to dinner and had a badass dinner at this place called Marker 47 in Athens, tight. And then after that, we drank more, and I think that day is what took it all out of me. Um, but then the next day, the day after, um, we kind of did a chill day, sort of. Um, but yeah, it was a good time, man. We went back to the Redneck Beach or whatever, drank a little bit more. But it's just like, oh my god, so much drinking. And so she left Monday morning, and I took basically all day yesterday to just meditate and relax and just like watch movies. And I watched two movies. I was in a mood for horror movies. It was Doctor Sleep, badass movie. It's the sequel to The Shining. Really good. It looks like you don't care, but I gotta just
No,
say
I'm
this.
I'm just no, I care. I'm just exhausted right now, so I
All right,
apologize.
number two, and the second one, I watched Chucky Child's Play, and
Try to change my microfacial expressions here. Let me get really excited for your
yeah,
story.
yeah,
No, I'm
be
interested, and
fake,
I
be fake, Nick. That's what we all
yes, let
love.
me let me really indulge you in your story right now.
um, what was funny as shit about Child's Play though, the Chucky movie? I used to be terrified of Chucky, but I've had this recent sort of obsession with like trying to face my fears, and there's a lot of stuff that I think is about to come up, which is good, I think, for me. And I've been meditating on it and thinking on it and stuff, but it still makes me insecure. Um, but what was funny about Child's Play is that I just noticed this. Dude, Chucky takes more heat. He takes so much. They fuck up Chucky like in the whole movie. He gets fucked up all the time. He's probably the villain that gets most fucked up, and it's awesome. Like they pour like plastic all over him. They put him into a microwave. They like uh cut off his hand, and it so good. Anyway, but yeah, I think like, in terms of being tired and stuff, it's like, you know being in touch and in tune with how you're feeling in terms of, I mean, being tired for me means I need to be away from people for a bit. So I've kind of told my roommates, like, listen, I'm so beat, I'm so tired, and I'm not afraid to say it either. um you know just yeah, when you don't have much energy, at least for me, it's like I gotta be alone, and it works.
Yeah, I guess. Well, partly right now, I live at like a parsonage right now. It's kind of like an extension of a church, and one of the pastors asked me for a hand today, and I had a free day, so I said sure, I'd be happy to give you a hand. And so he's putting in sprinkler system for his house, and I dug all the trenches around his house for the sprinkler system. Um, but that's like I'm physically tired, but I guess at the same time I'm a little mentally tired. Um, I'm hoping to start up a business on August 1st, and I feel like there's this principle in life that anytime you're about to do something great, an equal and opposite reaction, which being resistance, kind of hits you. So recently, I've had my car totaled. I've been kicked out of this place, not kicked out, but they have the youth pastor moving in here with his family. So I'm out in a month, so I have to find a new spot. So I'm moving down to Denver. My editing laptop kaput. The income I had rolling in stopped. Yeah, I have to buy a new car. That's kind of a big one on my mind. Yeah, and just a few other things. It's kind of like that resistance. Oh yeah, I my water bottle like flew. I was taking off my backpack. My water bottle flew into a TV that my roommate owns, and so I have to get him a new TV. Like, yeah, it's just like it's that great resistance. It's like whenever something like this is happening, it's less that it's a little mentally taxing, and doing physical stuff, of course, that's physically taxing, but at the same time, it fires me up because I know I'm on the right track, and this resistance isn't here for no reason. It's here because I'm onto something,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's an indicator uh, for something that is important to my dreams. It's something that's important for my self growth. It's truly an indicator. It's like when I'm at peace with the fact that I'm going to be a little mentally taxed for the next month,
Hmm.
but I'm willing to fight and go in, with a mentally offensive mentality towards this resistance, because I know that something great is right around the corner, and I just gotta push through or quit. It's am I gonna push through this, or am I gonna just let it overtake me? So
Can't
um,
quit. It's not
yeah,
an option.
yeah,
And so the only perspective that you can that is viable for what you're pursuing right now is the optimistic perspective of understanding that these obstacles have been put in the way of what you're trying to get at, and those obstacles have been put there so you can accomplish them. And I mean, those will turn into building blocks for your future, and you'll think back on those things and remember what you did and what you accomplished and how you got to where you are. And you can look at them as bad things, or you can look at them as like, oh yeah, new challenge. And the only way you can look at it is that way, is a new challenge. I mean, the only
yeah,
way that you and I can look this way is a challenge, because I mean, you can't look at it and say that this is going to destroy me, like this is it. You can't look at it and say that. And there's a route out. There's always a route out. And my mind goes to Wilson's story that he told us, and he found those people, man. He found those
yeah.
people on the trail. And yeah, there's a route out. There's always a route out. um or a route in, you know and you're on it.
There was just to interject real quick. I heard like a quote or some kind of, and I'm gonna butcher it, but it was like, um, if your dream is to like do something great for society, um, you're gonna have a lot of offers, um, to like become a medium paid telemarketer, or like there's gonna be many routes into the easy comfortable life, and there's nothing wrong with being a telemarketer if that gets you from A to B. But I'm just saying, like, there's going to be a lot of routes out. Like, I've already had like thoughts of maybe I should just go travel to Southeast Asia with my savings and say screw this company. And I was like, it's rationalized in my head, like, oh yeah, like I could work on the business plan a little more, and like I could, open my brain up and like meet some people and like read a little more. And it's like, no, like it's like, that's just an excuse. That's just a way out. Or I can move back home to Alabama and, like blah, 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 blah. Like, you've got to,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's just those, yeah. So,
The countless ideas of resistance
yeah,
that your brain wants to check out into,
it's like a different form of resistance. It's like resistance into a comfortable life instead of like a attacking resistance. It's more of like it wants you to go off of the offensive. Like I'm a lion and I'm going to go and I'm going to overcome this resistance because I'm not going to give up. But those kind of outs say, hey, it's like resistance being very cunning. Resistance is very cunning. It's going to say, hey, come back on the defensive, lion. Just come back on the defensive, jump into this comfortable life. Here's an
Mhm.
opportunity that looks pleasing, come back on the defensive. We don't like you on the offensive.
Um, and to preface sort of like all of this conversation, when we reference resistance, we're talking about Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art. And
Yes,
he
yes.
talks about resistance being the thing that is always on your mind to tell you that um, it's like you can translate it like the devil kind of. It's always trying to tell you that there's going to be too many things in the way. You shouldn't do it right now. You can wait till later. Procrastinate,
What are people going
procrastinate,
to think?
procrastinate. Right, right. Just all the negative influences in life.
Fear, anxiety, stress, the accumulation of small things into a big thing, like
Yeah.
all resistance. But you gotta, I don't know. At first like I tried to just work with resistance, like, and I just can't do that anymore. It has not worked out for me, and
Mhm.
I'm going on the offensive, and I'm
Mhm.
not backing down.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been doing a lot of research with psychedelics recently. And one of the things that they say if you're on a trip is don't ever resist it. Like whatever it is, when it comes in, don't resist it. And I don't know, that's just what my mind to went to immediately. But um, I
Yeah,
think
it's like,
like
go ahead. Sorry.
you must embrace everything that's occurring. You must embrace it. Otherwise, it always comes back. It's just a revolving door, and you stay in that door for forever if you resist. And in terms of meditation too, and Buddhism and things like that, when you resist something, it comes back stronger and stronger and stronger because you're giving it more energy. Where in which if you didn't resist, you would observe this thing and accept it as a phenomena of past experiences. And that's something I'm kind of working on right now. I've been like resisting this thing, and it's proving to be a stronger obstacle than what I projected, which I shouldn't have even projected. But I think like I think this thing in my mind is it's just trying to tell me that I need to accept I need to just accept what I don't have control over, which is completely fine, uh, conceptually. But putting it into practice is quite hard because, like, being a Type A person, I always want to do things quickly and effectively, do them my way, and have complete control over the whole thing. So when it doesn't occur, it's quite stressful. Um, I'm getting your connection is unstable. Did you get that?
Yeah, it glitched out for like 2 seconds, and I'm back in.
I think it could be my connection though too. But anyway, I think we're fine. And if it doesn't work, then we'll just stop it and we'll end it. But um,
Am I
so
still
yeah,
unstable?
no, we're good now.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Cool.
yeah. Um, and I think like in terms of I think in terms of like just man, I have this image in my head right now of sort of it's like yin and yang, like yin and yang. And I was watching this Alan Watts video yesterday where if you can picture the image like rotating sort of like on my hand, like spinning this way, you can see it like the black fish is eating the white fish's tail. If you can picture that, because it sort of has like that, shape to it. So you can picture that like it's eating the white. It's like eating. So anyway, if you can visualize it, it's that revolving door of resistance, and you can picture the your problem that way, and resisting that, or you can think, which is what Alan Watts's conclusion was, which was basically that these things exist together, and without the black there would be no white, and without the white there would be no black. So it's sort of this like they have fun together is what he used, but it just sort of makes sense. And if you look at the world from space, it's just one image, it's one picture. It's not a you don't see like a speck of sand. You don't see one speck of sand. You don't observe that one speck of sand. You see the whole world. You don't see one tree. You don't see one lake. But I think like, and everything's connected in some way. And so yeah, I think I really think that brings resolve to my mind, which is quite nice. The stress has alleviated itself in my mind, which feels good in this precise moment. But yeah, I just like everything's one image, one thing, everything, like those paintings in your room right now, the pictures of yeah, that painting, that picture of the Olympics on your left, on your right, all those things are affecting you in a way.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that one. I remember you
my
showed
favorite
me.
one.
Yeah, you showed me that one. You bought that at you told some lady how you translated it in your mind. Was it an art show? Explain that story.
No, I'll actually show it to you. Let's see. All right. There's the painting.
Yeah.
So this was actually just a totally this color, just a
Mhm.
blank canvas.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me just put it down for a sec. And I was at this I was at a church for a night called Testimonies, and pretty much is where this couple came in and shared their testimony, and then like you just got in groups and kind of shared your testimony with other people, and they were just harping on the power of testimonies. Well, this lady in the church, apparently, like she has prophetic art, she believes she has a prophetic art talent. So the whole time, like while we were doing worship, she was painting this, just like whatever just came to her mind. And I looked at it, and I was explaining to her how it was how it reminded me of the parable of new wineskin. And she was like, I wouldn't even like thinking that at all. But pretty much parable of new wineskin. Long story short is just a renewing of the heart.
And it, like when you showed me initially,
back in the day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Blanked out. Go ahead.
Back in the day, you couldn't put new wine in an old wineskin, so you had to put new wine in a new wineskin. So it's kind of like just like a renewing. But like I had just moved out to Colorado, and it was kind of like a fresh start type of thought that came to my mind. And I didn't end up buying it. She just gave it to me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Because you can translate that painting in two different ways. It can look like a like God's hand, or someone with a robe's hand, and a black hand that comes up, and it's quite nice. Or you can translate it like the wineskin way, and both are very nice. And
it kind of looked like it was like God's hand, and then like you could see this is a hand, and like this is like the wineskin type deal, and like out of God's hand, it was pouring in to the wineskin. That's
Mhm.
how I saw it.
Mm.
Um, but she said like she was thinking like prodigal son, like returning home or something like that. That's what's cool about her gift of prophetic painting is like she's just like you can see so many different things in the things that she paints, um, which is a really cool talent. I love artists. Artists are just so neat. Everyone's
Dude.
got such a unique style, unique
Yeah.
talents, and it's like, yeah,
They come from different places and have seen different things and have done different things and just creates this beautiful experiences, a beautiful visual of different experiences all in one, you know. Uh yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my mom's paintings right now and it's just like it just translate that message translates perfectly in my mind. It's very nice. Um so how are you dealing with being tired? What do you normally do?
Well, I don't normally resort to this. I'll say that.
Yeah, you had
But
stuff to
but
do.
but yeah, I just was working from like 7 to right before this. Just literally, I had a pickaxe and I was just digging trenches. So I was like,
Mhm.
if I'm going to be on any kind of game, I need some sort of stimulant. So I went with that. But mentally taxing, um, I don't know. I find peace and I find solace in knowing that this is happening for a reason. Like if I wasn't experiencing resistance, then I wouldn't be on the right track. But I know I'm on the right track because I'm experiencing resistance. It's really all in that book. It's hard to like explain why resistance appears, but it's a really short book. It's like 110 pages. War of Art, Stephen Pressfield. Excellent read for anyone who's creative that maybe feels like a block or something like that. Great read. Um, but I find, bless you. I find that
Thanks.
um, it's just part of the game that I'm gonna be a little mentally taxed in this phase of life.
Yeah.
And it's like, am I like there is no like, I mean, yeah, I could drink these every day, but it's not going to help me with my mental taxation. It's just going to help with my physical taxation. Mental taxation is just when you get hit with a barrage of stuff. There's no like, oh, like the world is great and oh, look at this guy. Like I try to do that. Like don't get me wrong, but it's just like I'm gonna be like mentally taxed. I try to keep a enthusiastic, optimistic mindset, but at the same time, I know that I have a lot going on. I have to deal with it, and I have to deal with it in an intentional manner.
Dude,
Um,
you know what's wild is that when you're in a state like that, like you're in a mentally taxed state, your mind says, "Oh, it's always been this way." You know? It does this weird thing where it's like it's always been this way. Unless you tell yourself consciously, "Nah, it hasn't." You
yeah,
know?
gratitude definitely helps as well.
Oh
Just
yeah.
thinking about the things, and not just like saying like I'm grateful for my health. Like literally saying like I'm grateful for my health, and then looking at your arms and imagining like how grateful you are that you can move your arms, and like people don't have arms,
Mhm.
or like people can't talk,
Yep.
or people can't smell, people can't see, people can't hear. Like I'm just so grateful that like I have a fully functioning, healthy mental state as well as
Mhm.
physical state. Like
Yeah.
and and just thinking about that, it's like why would I even give in to any resistance when I have so much blessing going on in my life? Like
Mhm.
these little things, like my car or like my living arrangement or a TV that can be replaced, are just like temporary. Like, but if I lose my arm's gone. And like, there's nothing wrong
Mhm.
if you don't have an arm. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm just grateful that I have both of mine.
Yeah, there two things like one when I heard this from Tony Robbins. It was like when it's something like it's kind of like a motivational thing, but it's like a when he feels stressed out or he feels like pessimistic about the world, he does this thing where he gives himself 90 seconds to be grateful about one thing and just sit in that gratitude. And basically what that's doing for his mind is what I'm picturing is that it's just putting him on this new it's laying new tracks And then like when he's thinking about those things on those new tracks, his mind is continuing to go in that way. So it makes complete sense that gratitude would help a lot in terms of either starting a day or whatever way you want to do it whenever you would want to do it. And then also like
Well, real
journaling
quick, Drew,
and gratitude.
you don't mind, I just want to shout out the realists. Like, if you want to be real about life, be real about what you're grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a realist and you hate those optimists that are always saying, "Oh, the sun is so pretty today," and like, "I'm so
Mm-hmm.
happy," like you don't have to be that way. But if you practice gratitude and you're real about what you're grateful for, like, that's a game changer.
Yeah,
But
it
you're
is.
talking about journaling, Drew.
Well, I think like I think realism has a place in this world. Uh and I also think like to be realistic means to pay the bills, to make sure your bases are covered. And and I think you can also be an optimistic realist too in terms of like thinking about AI in the future. I think you can be realistic about those expectations of the future. Um, but it is sometimes weird, like if someone's only an optimist, it's like, but you're hiding something. You know what I'm saying? There's always like that weird notion, and sometimes it's not true at all. But a lot of times it is too. Like, you know, but who knows, man?
Yeah,
It's just this weird connotation, and that's just judgment that you shouldn't put on anybody. So, um, I think I would rather be an optimist than a realist. Like being honest. I mean,
yeah. It's a much more fluffy life being an
yeah, it's way
optimist,
better.
but it's way better. You wake up and you're like, fuck it, like I love this shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my
I mean,
language, but
you
like,
just you just like you see in the good things, you see into the good things versus like waking up and thinking about all the things you have to do that day,
and everything that's going on in the world, like
Yeah,
that
and every
you are
Jesus
never
Christ, all the things that go
like.
on in the world. And
That
yeah,
gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Like,
me too.
but I don't. Yeah,
Right when I started thinking about it, I was just
like
like, be it's there. Okay. Now we're back. And so but yeah, like being a realist is I don't think it's realism versus optimism either. I just think it like my pops is a realist. He's a businessman, but he says he's not creative. He's creative, super creative. He just utilizes all his creativity inside his business. So he'll put up like lights on his sign on one of these main roads in at Smith Lake, Alabama, which is cool because he's excited about this thing. He's showing me, I'm excited to see it because he's excited about it, and I think it's cool. But he doesn't see it as creativity, but whatever he wants to see it as, it doesn't matter. It's still it's still a good thing. Um, and it's fun to share those sort of creative insights with people, especially since I feel like language is super constrained right now in terms of like the way I'm trying to translate this to you. Um, but yeah, I think like the realistic perspective is good, but also like I think like bullshitting is way more fun all the time. Bullshitting and like paying the bills is way more fun than just being a realist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like when someone classifies
I'm
himself
not
as
a
a realist,
I'm not a BSer. I'm not a
love it,
BSer
man. It's
though.
so much fun. It's the best.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to make you laugh, I'm gonna do it. Period. The end. It's just like it's too
Yeah.
much fun.
I'm not much of a comedian, but I'm down for the laughs for sure. I'm always down for a good laugh.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Yeah.
only like 50% of my jokes hit. I've learned throughout my life, but let me tell you, when they hit, they hit. So like there, yeah.
Oh, you sound like an egocentric son of a bitch, huh?
They hit, but only like half of them hit, and then like when they don't hit, it's super awkward. It's just like crickets, and like what is that guy talking about?
It's
So it's
like,
always
what
very
did he just
risky. That's
say?
why I'm not a comedian.
Because you
Yeah,
would used to do this, and we would all laugh. You'd go "Hoobada-doo-da-ba-bo," and we would all just crack up laughing
I
and be like,
forgot about that.
yeah, we would all
Yeah,
just crack up laughing because it made no sense, and it was just like blowing everyone's mind a little bit, you know. And so
yeah,
it was
yeah.
kind of funny.
When
It
people
was
would
so funny.
cheer, they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's bringing me
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Me and my buddy Cam were talking yesterday about or not yesterday, but a few days ago, about how when you hear the wind blow through the trees, it's like a yeah,
Oh yeah,
like clapping. And
yeah,
it
man.
does sound like that, you know. If you pay attention, it's like yeah, like a standing ovation crowd just pumped for you, you know.
Yeah,
I thought that
the
was wonderful.
nature gives off praise too, man.
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure,
yeah.
for sure. Well, I don't have
Well, dude.
too much more to say.
Yeah, I think this
Uh,
was a good kind of get us back on a horse. We've had some really busy weeks.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. This is a
but
good relaxed evening with a
yeah, I'm
glass of
glad.
wine.
Yeah, glad we did this with. Yeah, got my monster.
Hmm.
Now I'm pretty wired. Um, so I'm ready to go. Like I don't even know, do something crazy. You
Conquer the
know.
world. Ready to go
Uh,
sail the stormy seas like a
I like that
Viking and go
alliteration, man.
pillage your
Yeah.
lands and rape the women.
Um,
Your face is the payoff for that. Because obviously I'm joking, but you can't quite take the joke. Oh, those jokes
okay.
will always hit so hard with me. Thank you, Nick, for not liking that.
I'm such a I'm such a serious like person sometimes, man. Like, I'm sorry. Well,
No, I said thank
it's
you. No reason to
oh
apologize.
well, you're welcome, man. You're welcome for me being me. So
You're welcome,
yeah,
man.
I try to be me as much as I can. So um,
All right, brother.
but yeah,
We'll talk again soon. This was fun, and
yeah,
yeah. Well, what is this number 5? I think this is number 5. So we got 2
yeah,
more, and then yeah, see where it goes.
cool. All right, man.
All right,
Have a
brother.
great rest of your night.
You too,
Yeah,
man. You too. Get a lot of things
thanks.
done, okay?
Yes, but
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Relax.
what
Your
are you
face,
even talking
your.
about?
I just saw all the anxiety in your face. Like, I'm kidding. I'm
I I
sorry.
I do
I
I
should
do
be
have a
more
lot to get done.
sensitive. I should be more sensitive, and I'm sorry.
I don't even know what you're apologizing about. I don't know what you saw in my face,
I
but
just
yes.
all the idea, all the. I don't even want to say it because it'll bring it back up in your mind. So I'm not going to. So anyway, I love you, man, and I appreciate you, and I love everyone that listened this long and even before. And thank you, and God bless. God bless.
Yeah. Sending love out too. God bless.
Sending that love out.